Now that we have our host B within inside the management VLAN, I'll just go ahead and rename our PC to management PC, just so we know what we're talking about. For this management PC to remotely access, say through Telnet or SSH, into the switch, we need to give our switch an IP address. What we can do is bring up the switch here, go to configure terminal, interface, and if we go for VLAN 200, it will say that the protocol is now up and we can give it an IP address. So we'll go for the first one in the range, which is 192.168.200.1 with a /24, and we'll hit end. This interface VLAN 200 is a virtual interface, so it isn't real, but it is within the logical configuration of the switch, and it acts as an IP address, so we can see 200.1 for our management PC to be able to remotely manage our switch. And we can go into our management PC and edit the details for the default gateway to be 200.1. And bearing in mind, this is only for our VLAN 200, so this PC here. We'll click on the PC, go to IP configuration, and we can see the default gateway here being 192.168.200.1 because that was our interface VLAN 200 on our switch. So if we come out of that, go to command prompt, and we'll ping 192.168.200.1. And we can see after some time it resolves and gives us a successful echo request. On the switch, if we issue a show run, which is our show running configuration, we'll just have a review of what we've done so far. 01 is VLAN 100 and 02 is 200, which is exactly what we expected. And if we hit the spacebar, we can see that our interface VLAN 200 is active. We have the IP address set to .1 in a /24 network. You'll also notice here that the interface VLAN 1 doesn't have an IP address and is also shut down, as it is bad practice to leave this up and use within your network, as this is what it comes like out of the box when the switch is booted up for the first time. As you saw in last video, all of the ports are in VLAN 1. On the screen, you can see I have expanded the network, and what I've done is added 2 more clients and added another switch. Interconnecting between the 2 switches, we have this interface here. We have the switch connected to another management PC and connected to another host within the same network as host A, and the same for our management. What we are going to do is trunk both VLAN 100, VLAN 200 over this single connection here between the 2 switches, which is really beneficial as we only need 1 connection. If we had 1 VLAN per connection, it becomes really wasteful as your business or company starts to scale up and use a lot of VLANs. Like say if you had 100 VLANs, you are going to use a lot of connections going from switch to switch. Whereas if you trunked the VLANs, which carries all of the VLAN information, that is no longer necessary. You can have it running over 1 cable and have the logical configuration in place to achieve this. If we go to our switch here, we'll just allow that trunk configuration. So we'll go to configure terminal, our interface being fast Ethernet 03, and we'll go for switch port mode trunk, and we'll go for switch port trunk, and if we hit a question mark, we can go for allowed VLAN 100, 200, which allows those VLANs. By default, if you just left it as switch port mode trunk, it will allow all VLANs across that interface. I'll go ahead and do the same on our switch here. So we'll go for enable, configure terminal, and we want interface fast Ethernet 01, switch port mode trunk, and we'll go for switch port trunk allowed VLAN 100, 200, and we'll hit end. We aren't done here as we need to assign VLAN 100 and VLAN 200 to the interfaces here. So I'll just make a note of that. We'll go for VLAN 100 and VLAN 200 as seen there. On the second switch on the screen, I'll just run through that configuration. So we'll go to configure terminal, interface fast Ethernet 02, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 100, and you can see because I haven't named or created the VLANs, it will do that for us. It won't name them, but it will create them. And if we go to exit, we'll go for our next interface, which is interface fast Ethernet 03, and this is VLAN 200. So we'll go for switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 200. And the same again, it creates it, but it won't name it. And if we do a show VLAN, we can see VLAN 100 is there in the interface fast Ethernet 02, and 200 is in 03. Some nice verification commands you can do to ensure everything as it is. We'll go on any switch and do the command show interfaces trunk, which will show that our port 03 is in the 802.1q encapsulation, and it's trunking and the native VLAN being 1. The VLANs allowed on this trunk are 100 and 200, which is exactly as we specified. With that now all in place, our new management PC, which is in 200.4, if we just click on that, go to command prompt, and if we try and ping our other management PC, which is 168.200.3, so we are on PC2, go in to see if we can talk to our friend in 200.3. As we are now in both the same VLANs, we're going to go up here, across our trunk interface there, down to the management PC in 200.3. And as you can see, that is successful.